Okay, in our last video we talked about creating our own scratch sheet using markers and crayons, or color pencils and pastels. I mean, obviously you could reverse them around, markers and oil pastels, or color pencils and crayons. The markers and the color pencils were the base, and then the crayons and the oil pastels were the scratch surface itself. So this is if you don't have a pre-made one. But today we're going to look at, if you do have a pre-made one, the process of scratching itself. So obviously you'll know which one's a scratch surface because the white side, I can't scratch it. Then this side, I will be able to scratch it. Now, as you can see here, I have a little stake, the tip part for being able to do the detail fine work. You can also use the side for broader shading. Not shading but scratching, and then you have the back, which is the blunt side, for broader, wider lines and stuff like that, quicker sketching and stuff like that. So I have a roughly about an A4 size scratch paper. Now you could use either way, landscape, it's your drawing, it's your creation. Now what I would tend to do is, if I wanted to draw something here, for example, I would probably use a pencil first, just to lightly drive it. But the problem here is you got to be careful, because if you go very hard on the pencil, it might scratch the surface. So the idea with the pencil is, as light as you can, try to draw what it is that you're going to scratch. So here I'm very lightly, without trying to scratch the surface, you know, just draw something. Did a balloon, a heart balloon. Ooh, I like a heart balloon. And then maybe, what else can I do here? I'll stick with the theme that I've already started, which is balloon and a flower. I mean, hearts and flowers. That's what I did in the last video, where we made our own scratch sheet. So this one's kind of like this. How do I turn this into? Let's turn this into also. Instead of a balloon, we'll turn this into an actual flower. Okay, so just a brief idea, and then maybe, oh, what else? We like houses, don't we? Let's make it into very simple. Oh, look at that. I kind of scratched that off, but it's okay. House with a chimney. Maybe a little bit of smoke coming out of it. You know. Basic square window, a door. Okay, so that's your draft. This is your idea, using a pencil first. But if you know what you want to do, then it's fine. You can go straight into, or if you just want to experiment with patterns and shapes, just go straight into scratching it. So I'm going to just scratch it using the hard side here. So this is a shiny scratch paper. So I'm using the tip. Now, of course, you might only have one use of this, because this is made of wood, and it starts to, so I'm just going, it starts to get dull at the tip. So there we go. Okay. So that's it. But that's not where you should stop. This is where you can practice using. You can use the blunt side. We want to kind of show more of the background. So I'm using the blunt side here. Now, it depends on, also there's a quality of scratch paper, pre-bought scratch paper. Some might be more easier to scratch. Some might need a little bit more force. This one seems to need a little bit more force. So I'm just scratching it, trying to get some background out, using the blunt side because it's a lot faster. And I can use this side. using the sharp tip, get more detail, try to go across it. And I'm having to use a lot more pressure than I want to here. You can do cross hatching. Cross hatching is a nice effect. Okay. Basically, that's one way of doing it. The shiny paper. I found this to be rather difficult using this. Another way you can do it, other ways, if it is harder to scratch, you can use scissors. If you have a blunt tip, then you need to just use the edge, like just the edge here. So I'm gonna go using the scissors again. Just kind of go around this, make the petals. So I'm drawing it with the edge. Now just explore what you can do with it. Don't get too caught up with trying to be perfect. There's, you know, perfection is a hard thing to achieve, and it almost really doesn't really exist. So just kind of go around it. I'm just making my lines. Scissors seem to work a lot easier, especially with the scratch sheet, because it's pretty hard. Let's give it some. So here I'll just go with a swirly design. Okay. So don't try to leave it too dark, too black. Try to make sure that you get almost a 50-50 balance of light and stuff like that. The background when compared to the scratchy part, so it shines through. So here I'm gonna just make some lines. Okay, I'm gonna go back to using the stick, just because I like the more broader strokes that I can get with the blunt side. So I'm not even using the sharp side, I'm using the end, the blunt side. It's not exactly the effect I want, but I'm okay with it. I'm experimenting here, just trying it out and see what happens. So I can go back around the edges to scratch more off using the blunt side, makes it a lot thicker. That's what I want to see. So the background shines through. So this is a shiny background, not like the background that in my previous video that I show you how to make, where you put different colors, like a rainbow color into the back in the end. So I think I'm almost pretty happy with that. Kind of a slash flower snowflake. It's all right. Have fun with it. Don't worry about it too much. Okay, and then I drew this part here, which was the stem. So here with the stem, I'm just gonna scratch it all out. I want the shiny background to come through. Okay, and then I'm gonna scratch the leaf part. Now, obviously, if you have, depending on your background, if you have the rainbow color background, then you will obviously maybe scratch differently, trying to get a different look, a different effect. Here, this is just a glitter, silver glitter black background, and so I'm just gonna kind of pull the background out by just scratching as much as I can from it. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so then we can move on to the house. I do like the metal part of the scissors. Now I'm going to try to do it sideways. like not using the tip, but really the blunt. So if you actually have blunt scissors, that might actually work a lot better. So scratch that. Let's make the roof, the shingles on the roof. Just have fun with it. The chimney, I'm just gonna go ahead and then the smoke. Just gonna go crazy. Okay. Maybe kind of a rounder motion with the smoke part. Just using the side because I want to be able to kind of get this a little bit faster. Then let's make the walls. Now be careful not to scratch too hard, especially when you're using something sharp and metallic, because what you don't want to happen is you don't want to rip into the scratch paper itself, because underneath this layer of shiny stuff, it's just going to be the white paper. So if you go too hard, then you're going to rip into that, and you don't want to do that. So just take it easy. So the windows, I might just do it a little bit differently, where I want the light to shine through. So I'm just going to go ahead and scratch it all out. Maybe I'll leave a little bit of okay, something like that. Wasn't a very nice and straight, so I can kind of clean it up if I took my time, but not too worried about it. Make the door. If you want to, you can make the window covers. Okay, you can even put a little circle, like a peephole. A little window in the door. Okay, you can make grass. Okay, so generally that's what you can do. I used the pencil first to do the basic draft and stuff like that, but you have to do it very lightly so that you don't break into the scratching part itself, just to give you an idea what you want to do. Then you have the scissors that could also work as a tool, a scratching tool, and obviously a stick, you know, or a toothpick or something like that. Toothpicks tend to not work very well because they're very brittle or thin, and they'll break if you scratch too hard on them. Well, I hope that you know, gets you started, gives you some idea. So if you buy a pre-made scratch sheet, you know, have fun with it, explore. Okay, thanks.